Hey guys, it's Ethan. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and before we get into the video, just want to make a nice announcement that you guys asked for. We delivered it. Shout out to Jamie for making this happen, but the Folding is Boring t-shirts and hoodies are now live here on Silver Screen Designs. Feel free to check out the link in the description below or in the comment below. Super excited to launch this, and honestly, for me, I love the design and I love the hoodie, so certainly we'll be adding this one into my personal hoodie collection. So if you want to support the channel and support a local business, or if you just like the design, feel free to check it out. It'd be much appreciated. And if I see anyone rocking the hoodie, happily will give you guys a shout out on my Instagram and social media. Would be really cool to see you guys rep it. And also, Folding is Boring is really good for the game. So feel free to check out that link, and let's get into the video. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having great day. Welcome back to another video. We're back here, obviously, Boston Billiard, rocking the Penn hoodie today. That's what we're rocking. Shout out to Penn, shout out to Barstool. Fun fact, best investment I ever made. They had a Black Friday sale and I had to cop it, so adding this to my hoodie collection, so we're wearing this today. Besides that, we're hopping on the 1-3 for now. This place is packed right now on a Saturday night. That said, we're hopping the 1-3. Hopefully we'll get into a 2-5 game later on, but with that said, let's try to run it up. Last time we were here, we battled back, so this time let's try to start off hot and stay hot. Anyways, let's get into it. Wish us luck. Starting off the day at 1-3, the first hand here, we've got Jack 10 of diamonds in the hijack facing a button straddle. Small blind limps, and the big blind raises it up to $20. Here in the hijack in position, we love this hand. It's super connected, super playable, so I put in the 3-bet to $60. Action back onto the small blind who limped and actually calls this with a very short stack. Small blind has $40 behind, and now onto the big blind who raised to 20. She thinks and puts in the jam to $400. Yep, as much as we love playing it, we don't love playing this for stacks pre-flop. We unfortunately have to get out of the way and fold. The other player, small blind, obviously makes the call, and we're off to a run out for fun. Obviously, we would have gotten there on the river, of course, with the little suck out, as the big blind shows pocket aces. She takes it down, and nice that she ISO'd me out of this hand. Following hand, ace 6 of clubs on the button, playing 5-handed. There's an only gun opener to $15 and folds to me. Here, this hand definitely works a lot better as a 3-bet, but considering we're facing an only gun open, we decided to just flat. Now the small blind 3-bets to $46 with a very short stack of only $100 behind. The only gun player makes the call with $500 behind, and we're in position of everyone. Not really the best hand for us to be playing, but we flat for $31 more. Let's go to a flop 3 ways in a 3-bet pot. Flop comes 5, 7, 8, 2 hearts, and a club. Small blind rips it all in there for $97. The only gun player folds, and, well, I guess we're just going to be generating some action. We have open-ended, we have an over, and we have backdoor clubs. Let's call and try to suck out somehow. We're going to a run out.
2 players, 1 ball in.
We end up making a pair of 6s, and he actually rolls over ace 10 offsuit. Somehow our pair is good, and we're going to take this one down. Following hand, this time actually something good. Pocket kings in the big blind playing 5-handed. There's an undergun limp, and there's a button now who raises to $15. Easy spot for us. We're definitely going to be putting a 3-bet. We size to $60 in this instance, and the button quickly makes the call. So definitely didn't think about 4-betting. We'll see what her range is like. Flop comes ace, king, 7, 2 hearts, and a diamond. What a beautiful spot this is. Here, I'm actually going to check and take a very different line for some reason. I don't know why, but I check. She throws out a bet of $80, and this is actually a pretty decent-sized bet, about 2/3 pot, and we want to commit stacks, obviously. She's pretty deep with about $400 behind in this 1-3 game, and let's try to get stacks in. I put in the check raise now to $250. Sadly, we don't get action. We don't commit her stack. She folds, and we're just going to take this one down. The very next hand, picking up 8-7 of clubs in the small blind. Here, action folds to me. I open it up to $12, and the big blind decides on a call. Off to a flop, which comes queen, queen, 5, 2 clubs. I put in a c-bet of $10 here with our club draw, and he makes the call for $10. Off to a turn, which comes the king of clubs. Here, when I think about betting, his hand actually goes towards chips. So it seems like he is definitely very vested in this pot, and sitting with the flush now, I'm going to throw out another bet of $35, and he doesn't think too long before making the call for $35. Let's see a brick. The river comes the 9 of diamonds, and here, this is the type of player that I think would definitely check back trips in this instance. So obviously with our flush, definitely have to go for 3 streets of value. I decided to size up to $75, and turns out 75 was a little too small. He snap calls this, and we show our hand, and we take it down. I'm sure we could have bet a lot bigger on the river here, but at least we got paid in this instance.
This is Freddie. This is for Ethan for Christmas. It's from the heart, Ethan. Open it up.
Appreciate you, Freddie. Thank you.
Open that up. You're going to love it. You already see it?
No, I didn't. Oh, shit. Oh.
Yeah.
And I have to play this hand. Fuck. 12.
Yeah, I got it custom made.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm guessing the rest of it.
Shout out to Freddie for the mask. It looks amazing. It's the exact logo. Check it out at Billy's Barbershop in Lowell, Mass. Shout out to Freddie for the mask, and in this next hand, this is a doozy of a hand. Jack 8 of clubs on the button, and there's an under the gun straddle. +1 opens up to $15, and it folds to me. I haven't played a hand in forever. I have a pretty tight image on this table so far, so I almost 3-betted, but I decided to just flat here in position. The big blind and under the gun player both call, so 4 ways to a flop. The flop is 10, 8, 8, 2 hearts and a diamond. Action checks to me, and 4 ways sitting with trips. Definitely need to bet. I decided to size to $35, and all these players give me absolutely no respect. They all call, and we're going 4 ways to a turn. The turn comes the 7 of diamonds, brings in the backdoor flush draw. Now the board is just super connected, and it really shouldn't change too much besides Jack 9 getting there open-ended. But once again, all 3 players check to me, and we definitely need to size up and thin out this field to a river. So I decided to bet out $115. Now the under the gun player makes the call, and then we see some news as the +1 player who opened it up pre-flop rips her entire stack in there for $700. Wow. Immediately, I'm confused. So I cover her, so this is a $700 total jam, and this is massive. Massive, massive, and the more I think about this, the more confused I am in the situation, because when I think about the ranges from the +1, I can't say this is ever a bluff, and this is really rare for this to be a combo draw. So what hands really make sense in her range to do this? Overpairs don't really ever do this. Queens, kings, aces, I don't think they're ever really going to overplay one pair in this. And I really don't think ace 8 is either in the opening range as well. So I tanked for a long time, and I was actually really stuck in this instance, and I felt myself really not sure what to do, and really had no idea whether I was calling or folding. At the end of the day, the more I thought about it and the more stuck I became, it made clear that I probably should just fold. I'm not necessarily sure why I'm actually folding, but when I don't have a clue, sometimes folding is boring, but in this instance, it felt like somehow I was beat. So we fold. The under the gun player also folds a 10 face up, and now +1 shows 8-7 of spades for the vlog. Nice hand body. You really got me there. Put me in a pretty terrible spot. Nice hand. Mid session update. Out of the 1-3, we're moving on to 2-5. We're in the 1-3 for $540. Out for 1,031 or 931. So decent profit there in a few hours. Got called for 2-5. We'll hop in there, try to get a few more hands in there, and try to wrap up the session relatively soon, maybe? Who knows? Unless we get stuck, then that's never good. But so far so good, smooth sailings. besides that Jack 8 hand. But besides that, let's hop into it. And yeah, we're just like in the 2-5 game. First hand of 2-5. It's a big one. Ace King offsuit in the small blind, playing 5-handed. Very early on after sitting on this table, there's a cutoff limp and a button raised to $30. This seemed like a pretty large raise than normal. So here in the small blind, although we do have a premium, we're actually just going to flat call this, trying things out, trying to take different lines with Ace King, especially in the small blind. Wanted to go for a lower variance line here, so I call in the small blind. Now the big blind puts in a 3-bet to $130. The cutoff limper folds and gets out of the way, and the button calls this $130, and now action on to me. Strange dynamics flowing now, and I think it all started because I decided to flat call with Ace King. And here, let's see how bad I can play this hand. Both players cover me. I'm sitting with 1,000 effective. Here, I think Ace King plays a lot better heads up, especially since we're out of position, and I think we just have to thin out the field or maybe even steal this pot as well. So I put in the 4-bet to $550, a little bit over half of our stack in the middle now. And we're obviously committed to our stack if anyone jams. The big blind thinks about it for a while, then announces all in. The button gets out of the way, and like I said, obviously we are not folding. Let's hope we're racing here, not against aces or kings. We're going to a run out.
Yeah, of course.
No ways, no ways.
Unfortunately, we do not improve sitting with Ace King high. He shows us pocket queens, and yeah, we're gonna lose this flip. Welcome to 2-5, Ethan. Welcome to 2-5.
There's a hot start to 2-5. This is the stack that I just dumped away $1,000 to. Look at this ridiculous shit. Look at this.
In this next hand, we are playing some bigger pots as we are in the under the gun straddle, and we have ace 9 of clubs. There's a button limp, and the big blind now raises to $65. He seems like an action player at this table. Not entirely sure, but early on in this session, I decided to just flat call this. 65 is a much larger sizing, so we'll see what happens. I call, and the button calls as well, so 3 ways to a flop, which comes 9-3 deuce rainbow. Okay, top, pretty good spot here, and even better, the big blind checks to me, so feeling pretty good about my hand. I throw in a c-bet of $70, pretty small on a fairly dry flop. Only the big blind pre-flop raiser makes the call. Going to a turn which comes the 8 of hearts, full rainbow out there, and once again he checks. Thinking about the correct line in action here, I feel like I could certainly just check this back, but I think there's a lot of like sometimes jack 10s in his range, sometimes a lot of queen jacks, a lot of 2 overs and improved gutter ball or straight draw outs, so I decided to exploitatively overbet this to a sizing of $350. Now, he tanks for quite some time. He had his chips in his rack and now takes them out of the rack, counts out the total amount of chips, and looks like he has about $550 in his stack. Think things over, thinks about jamming, thinks about folding, ultimately lays his cards into the muck, saying that he had ace jack. So we'll take this one down, and next hand.
I wasn't ahead if he had jacks.
Next hand, very much a premium, pocket aces in the big blind. There's a button open to $25, and it seems like he plays a wide range. The small blind makes the call, who also seems like he's playing a lot of hands as well. So now this is a dream spot, and we're putting in that 3-bet to $100. Normal 5x sizing out of position against the 1 caller, so only the button makes the call, and we're going to a flop. The flop is king 7-8 rainbow. Pretty dry all around considering it is a 3-bet pot. So when we're out of position, I think here we're definitely going to have to just c-bet our entire range. So we size to $85, 1/3 pot. He thinks and makes the call. Going to a turn which comes in ace. So really great, obviously, since we do sit with top set, but really bad for our opponent's calling ranges. Doesn't seem like this card is really good at all to get more value. So here, with that said, not thinking we can get 3 streets, I decide to check, and here he, as expected, would check it back. The river comes a jack. Board a lot more connected now, and maybe, hopefully, he has pocket jacks. So here I'm out of position. We definitely have to put in a bet for value. So hopefully we can just target King X holdings. Sometimes if we bet really small, we can induce pocket jacks to even raise. So with that said, I bet $125. He calls pretty quickly. So obviously we've got to be good here with the second nuts. Show our hand, and surprisingly, he shows us pocket queens. So unfortunate that this pot couldn't get any bigger. Unfortunate he didn't 4-bet us, but we'll take it down.
How much?
Once again, we find ourselves in the big blind, and this time we have pocket eights, and there's +1 player who opens it up to $20. Cutoff makes the call, and here, I think I'm just going to be flat calling here opposed to 3-betting. Pocket 8 certainly can be ahead of these players' ranges, but out of position and multi-way, it's going to make things pretty hard to play. So with that said, the flop comes 3, 4, 5, all spades. If we're asking for a flop, we really like flopping over pairs with 8s, so action checks the cutoff player who throws out a bet of $75. Pretty large, and he only has about $200 behind. And I feel kind of stuck in this instance with the +1 pre-flop raiser left to act. Certainly can't just isolate and raise, but what if the other guy has a hand that beats us? I'm not entirely sure. With that said, I'm just going to be making the call and evaluating a turn. So +1 folds, and we're going heads up to a turn. Turn comes the Queen of Hearts, and once again I check. Don't love seeing that overcard to our pair, but doesn't really matter. He rips it all in for $206 total. This might be a little fishy, I think, just putting him on like an ace of spades holding. If we're beat somehow, like we do have the 8 of spades to go along with this as well. Anyways, I just make the call. Might be a little fishy, but let's go to a river. The river comes in ace, so that's really good. And he shows us pocket 4s. That's disgusting. Flopping is set, and pretty much seeing the 8 on the river there, set over set. Pretty disgusting there. A pretty bad way to suck out. But yeah, I guess pocket 4s can't win every time. Last hand of this video to go over, ace-5 offsuit in the small blind. There's a button open to $15, and usually from the button, it should be a pretty wide range. And here, ace-5 offsuits. Good candidate to 3-bet, hopefully just take down the money pre-flop. So I sized to $60. And no, we're not taking it down because the button thinks about it for quite some time. Looks like he's thinking about a 4-bet, but he just makes the call for 60. So we are going to a flop, and this big blind covers us. The flop comes Queen 10-10 Rainbow. Really unsure what his range is here when he thought about 4-betting, but only flatted. So with that said, sitting with ace-5 high, I am just going to check here and see what happens. He throws out a bet of $50, and I think we can put a hand like pocket jacks in a pretty tough spot and potentially would fold to a check raise. So with that said, we do that. I check raise to $150, hoping to take it down, but this one doesn't work for now as he's going to be making the call. Not good for us. The turn comes the 9 of hearts, so if I'm putting him on pocket jacks, he's definitely not folding to this turn anymore. So I am just going to give up and check, and luckily for us, he checks it back. The river comes in ace. Look at us, we're a luck box. I think we just might be good here. We'll see. I check. He checks it back with king, queen, and dirty old suck out. Put ourselves in a pretty horrible spot in the flop, but nice to hit the ace on the river.
What a crazy, wild day this was. Somehow, some way, we found a way to crawl out of a pretty deep and dark hole at 2-5. So to recap the day, we played 1-3 for about 2.5 hours, and we made $391 there. And at 2-5, we crawled deep into a hole. Let's take a look. We were in the 2-5 game for $2,440. Played for 3 hours and out of the game for $2,570. So somehow we found a profit of $130 there. Luckbox City at the end there needed those helpful rivers to slowly chip up, and yeah, found a way to chip up and come out with a win. Steady grind, very, very swingy, that's for sure. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you made it this far all the way to the end. Thanks so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.